Let's talk about ponds in The Sims 4. Ponds can be a great little addition to your landscaping in your house, in the front, in the back, in the side yards, wherever you want it. You can add a really nice touch of movement to your landscaping and just can be really, really cute. But it can be a challenge to make them look natural and realistic. So let me show you how to do that. This entire tutorial will be base game only, and it's going to be mod free. However, I might throw in a few suggestions here and there for if you use the tool mod or for things in other packs that might add to the pond in case you have other packs. To start, you have to go to the terrain tools tab, which is right here in the build category. It's the little pond with a shovel on it. And we're going to go to the terrain manipulation tab on there and go for the lower terrain tool. It'll start in probably a small size. I like to make mine the size 3 or maybe even size 4, depending on how large you want to make your pond. I don't want to make it too big for this tutorial, but you can make it however big you want. It's your pond, it's your space, make it how big you want. But I'm going to keep it at this size. Now, when it comes to shape for your pond, you want it to be kind of like a misshapen circle, maybe like a bean kind of shaped like it's like you don't want something that's perfectly round. Unless that's what you're going for, then go for it. But to make it look a little bit more natural, I like to kind of put a curve in mine or like have a part jutting out. So I'm going to do like a curve with mine. So I'm just gonna lightly tap. I don't press and hold, I just kind of adjust with one clicks here and there. So I think I like this, so I'm going to go to the water tool and fill it with water to see if I do like it. I don't fill it all the way full because if you fill it all the way full, it's gonna do weird things like this. So we're gonna undo, and honestly, I don't mind this shape, but I would like to maybe make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna grab the tool again. I'm gonna leave the water in because you can adjust it and just kind of bring out the sides a little bit to a better shape. I like this. It's not perfectly round. It's kind of an awkward shape, something you might actually find in nature. Once you're satisfied with your pond shape, we are going to landscape. So you're gonna click the big tree, outdoor plants, and we're going to go to the rocks category. There are only 5 rock options. Here is where if you use mods or if you use other packs, you can change. There's lots of other great rocks in other packs. There's also great rocks in debug. If you want me to show you how I use debug rocks with tool mod, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to do a modded pond tutorial as well because I like to use debug rocks with the tool mod. But we're just using base game, and that's what we're going to start with. So before you start placing your landscaping, you're going to need to turn on the move objects cheat. So hold Control-Shift-C on your keyboard and type in bb.moveObjects on, and then press enter, and now you have move objects on. You also might want to have alt rotation. So to alt rotate, go to the top right corner where there's camera controls and turn on the Sims 3 camera. Once you do that, you'll be able to take your item, hold alt, and rotate it, and that's really nice when you are adjusting where your rocks are placed. So just go ahead and start by placing your rocks. You can kind of place them in whatever order you like. I always keep my finger on alt so I can just kind of rotate things in whatever way I want. For these ones with the like extra little pieces on the side, as you can see, like this one has one, I usually kind of like to rotate those so they're not in the water and they're like in the ground instead, because I feel like if they're just sticking out of the water, it might look a little bit weird. But again, it's a personal choice. Do what you like to do. Now, to add variation to your pond and your rocks, because they're all the same. We don't want them to look all the same though. So you can change the sizes of them. So you can change the size to make it smaller by hitting the left bracket key on your keyboard, and you can go pretty small. I wouldn't go really small with everything, but it's fun to add in some little rocks here and there. You can also make it larger. So sometimes it's fun to add a larger rock into your pond. And that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm going to size this one up just once and place it about right there. It's kind of fun to have like 1 or 2 larger rocks to really make it look natural and give that like real life effect. And then just keep placing your rocks however you see fit, rotate them, and do whatever you want. All right, now that I have all of my rocks placed, we're gonna add in foliage. So we're going to go to the shrubs category, and my favorite one to use is this low-lying pale yellow flower, and I kind of place this scattered through the rocks. Sometimes I'll shrink it with the left bracket key and just fill it in a few spots. Some spots I'll make more dense, some spots will be less dense, some spots might not have any at all, but it's all up to you on how you like your pond to look. And don't worry about covering every spot. We're gonna put more landscaping. After you've placed all of your low-lying flowers, go ahead and grab the not grass. This kind of fills the gap for having like cattails in your pond. However, if you do use other packs, if you have cats and dogs or vampires, there are cattails in debug that you can go find and add to your pond. I think they're a really fun addition. They do look better in larger ponds, but they're very fun to add, so feel free to use those. And these are also quite big, and personally I don't like them being quite as big as they are, so I'm going to shrink all of these. I might even shrink some extra small, making them like little ones. Just having variation variation. I like having a lot of variation within my ponds. From here, I like to use the lovely lavender bush. I'm a big fan of the lavender. I think it's a lot of fun to have lavender. I use it in all of my landscaping, so I just like it a lot. And I'm just going to pop it in around here, kind of fill in these spots like so. And you can stop here, or you can add some flowers. There are these assorted wildflowers that are really cute. There's also the oops-a-daisies. They both have lots of color swatches, so go ahead and add whichever ones you prefer, if you prefer them at all. I like using the assorted wildflowers because I like the multicolored aspect of them. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to shrink them a little bit here and there, maybe some even really, really small, because I don't want them to be too big. Like, I don't want them to take up all the space. So now that we have all of the landscaping, you can go ahead and add as much landscaping as you want. If you want to play around with any other things, you can put bushes around. You could even put little trees around if you'd like. If you want to put a tree, if you want to have it like a more of a tropical vibe, that is fully up to you. That could be a lot of fun to do. Honestly, these like majestic palms could be really nice if you're going for a more tropical look, or if it's a pond in the forest, get some evergreen and cypress trees, you know, the pine trees could be fun. Any trees would look cute with this. So now we're going to adjust watercolor, which is a fully optional step. But if you go to the outdoor water decor, which is this little log over here, there are 6 different watercolors you can change. I personally like to keep mine the same. It depends on what you want for the vibe. There is a pond water one specifically. I personally don't like it unless it fits the vibe of my build. There's ones with leaves and pond scum, and like there's red ones. It's up to you what you'd like to use. I'm gonna keep mine as the standard pond color because that's what I like the best. There are also other waters in other packs as well that you can use if you do use other packs. Then I'm going to go to the pond objects tab and we're going to add some lily pads. How many you add? Up to you. If you add them at all, also up to you. Add them wherever you'd like. I do like clumps here and there, and then maybe like 1 or 2 on their own. Kind of like that. And there we have some cute little lily pads. You could also, for your landscaping, add these reeds. I personally don't like them because you can see that there's like dirt around them, and I find that hard to blend in, so I don't really add those into my ponds. And lastly, there are pond effects. Depending on the size of your pond, you might want to refrain from these because they can be kind of big, but you can add a log, which sometimes brings in a turtle, I think, to your pond. There's fireflies, mosquitoes, fish, ducks, swans, unidentified submerged objects, crocodiles, all kinds of stuff. What I personally like to do is add some fireflies around the edges of my pond, and I will tuck them in here underneath my foliage. That way in build mode, you can't really see it because it bothers me. It just bothers me, like how it just sits there. But you can go ahead and add whatever you want. The ducks and other like birds, they just take a lot of space. So if they don't fit in your pond, I would suggest not using them, because if you shrink them down, I don't know exactly how they work. They might look really, really goofy if you shrink them down. I've never play tested that. So do that at your own risk. But the dragonflies, the tadpoles, add whatever you want in there. And the very last step is terrain paint. This is probably what makes it all feel like it comes together. So you're going to grab the paint tool for terrain paint and choose whatever one you want. Depending on where you're building your pond, you might want to go with like a more sandy color or a dirt looking one. I'm going to go with the Smarter Starter Soil. It's my favorite of the terrain paints, and you're going to keep it small. Mine is on the second size, and you're going to bring down the softness so there's less opacity, and it's going to be really soft. That way you can build it. And I just like to go and I like to click through. I never hold and drag it like that, but I rarely ever do that. So I just click all the way around. I have a little bit more control over it that way, personally, is how I feel. And you're just going to go over, and if you have plants sticking out, you're going to make sure you bring out the dirt to be underneath the plants, and you're just going to fill it in. And there you have a adorable little pond to add into any of your builds. If you found this really helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below of other tutorials you'd like to see. And let me know if you'd like to see a non-base game mods allowed version of a pond, because I'd love to show you how I do ponds with other things. If you're looking for more tutorials, I do have a playlist full of them. I also have a TikTok full of build tutorials, build hacks, Sims memes, all kinds of stuff that's linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!